Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into some really powerful ancient wisdom, stuff that can be a game changer for our modern, kind of chaotic lives. We're going to explore how to shift our inner world from a place of stress and constant reaction to a place of real, deep, unshakable calm.
So let's just start with this one big question. I want you to think about the last time you felt really stressed out or frustrated. Did you just react? That knee-jerk surge of anger or anxiety? Or did you actually respond to it with a sense of clarity, of choice? That difference right there is at the heart of everything we're about to talk about.
The answer to that question, whether you react or respond, it almost always comes down to which version of your ego is in the driver's seat. Eastern wisdom doesn't see the ego as this one single thing. It's more like a state that can be super helpful or, well, really harmful. And that brings us to these two states. So on one side, you've got what's called the unripe ego. This is the part of us that just reacts, right? It clings to things, it's impulsive, it's always chasing the next pleasure. But on the other side, you've got the ripe ego. This is the part that responds thoughtfully, that serves a bigger purpose, and endures challenges with this incredible calm.
Think about it. So much of our daily struggle, the stress, the frustration, that feeling of being pulled in a million different directions, it all comes from living in this unripe state. We're constantly tying our sense of well-being to things outside of us that we just can't control, and that just creates this constant war inside our own heads.
So the big question is, how do we get out of that reactive, unripe state and move into that more centered, ripe one? Well, the answer lies in these 4 key principles, or as they're sometimes called treasures, that can guide us toward that inner calm. The very first treasure is sama, or tranquility. I want you to picture a lake that's perfectly still, like glass. The reflections on it are totally clear, totally undisturbed. That's sama. It's the ability to hold on to that inner stillness, even when the world around you is just total chaos. It's really the foundation for everything else. Next up, we have dhamma. This is all about mastery over your senses. So if sama is the calm water, think of dhamma as the riverbanks. It gently holds and guides the flow of everything you see and hear and feel, and it stops it from just overflowing into a messy, impulsive reaction. You're still experiencing the world, but you're guiding that experience with purpose. Then there's uparama. This is a really cool one. It's the ability to kind of withdraw, to find this serene, quiet inner space that's totally separate from all the external noise. It's like finding a secret, quiet spot away from the rush of daily life. A place you can always go back to and just find your peace. And finally, we get to tiksha. Now this one is often seen as the most powerful of the 4 because it's the active ingredient that makes all the others possible. It's the art of endurance, but probably not in the way you're thinking. So let's really unpack this, because this skill is absolutely transformative. Tiksha is about consciously facing life's storms, not by fighting back, but with this deep, stable inner strength.
First, let's get really clear on what tiksha is not. It is not about suppressing your feelings or just gritting your teeth and bearing it. It's not about ignoring pain or pretending your problems don't exist, and it is definitely not a weakness. It's an active, powerful, conscious kind of strength.
And here is where you see this huge shift in perspective. The unripe ego, it says, "You made me angry," right? We've all been there. But with tiksha, we can reframe that. We can say, "I acknowledge that an emotion inside of me was triggered when I was with you." That simple change is so powerful because it gives the power back to us. The focus shifts from blaming something outside to understanding our own inner world, which, let's be honest, is the only thing we can ever truly control. I love this analogy. Think about it. You can't stop the wind from blowing or the sun from shining, but you can definitely choose what you wear. Tiksha is like putting on an inner blanket of awareness. It's this protective layer of calm that you grow inside yourself, and it keeps you steady and warm, no matter what the weather of life is throwing at you.
Okay, so this all sounds really good in theory, right? But how do we actually bring this stuff into our messy, complicated, real lives? How does it become more than just a nice idea we heard about?
Well, the impact is very real. People who actually practice these principles, they report huge shifts. Take Stephen Stachel, for example. He shared that by applying tiksha, he was able to respond thoughtfully to everything, from somebody criticizing him to actual physical pain, without letting any of it define who he was on the inside. And that's where true calm really starts to grow.
So one of the most powerful tools for this is a really simple 3-part meditation. First, you just start with body awareness, kind of scanning from your head all the way down to your toes. Then you focus on your breath, really feeling it flow deep into your rib cage. And finally, you can add a simple mantra, something like Om Shanti, just to help deepen your focus and anchor yourself in that calm place.
Another amazing practice is daily journaling. And look, this doesn't have to be complicated. We're talking 5 minutes at the end of the day. Just reflect on what happened. Notice those moments where you reacted, and then notice the moments where you're able to respond with that calm and that endurance. It just helps build your self-awareness and really locks in these new, calmer habits.
And what's so cool is that the impact of all this doesn't just stop with us as individuals. When we start to cultivate this inner stability, it has this incredible potential to create a ripple effect that goes way out into the world. I mean, the vision here is really big. Imagine if we started teaching these principles, emotional maturity, inner calm, to younger generations who maybe aren't so stuck in their old habits yet. We could actually start to build a more harmonious, a more peaceful society literally from the ground up. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole philosophy in a nutshell. It's not about fighting the storms of life, because the storms are going to come. It's about cultivating the inner stability and the wisdom to sail right through them with a steady hand, and to come out the other side not just okay, but actually stronger for it. So that leaves us with one final thought to take with you. As you go about your week, what is one challenge, one storm in your life, big or small, that you can choose to face differently? Not with resistance, but with that inner blanket of conscious, calm endurance. Because that's how we turn our trials into real transformation.